Hello, hello. Are you interested in psychology? What level of psychology are you at? Are you in high school? Are you in college? Do you have your degree? What level? I have my master's degree in psychology, and today we're going to talk about operant conditioning in simple, easy terms. When I say simple, easy terms, I try to come up with simple examples. So this guy right here named Thorndike. And we also have Skinner. And we're going to find out what are the big things that Thorndike and Skinner did in operant conditioning. So as we think of operant conditioning, we're going to remember it's based on reward and punishment. So, reward, what is a reward? What comes to your mind? So, rewards and punishments. What comes to your mind? Maybe giving a present to someone. If you were a teacher, would you give a reward or some sort of sticker to a child for their behavior? What about if you were a pet owner? Would you give a treat? So I'm interested. What would you do if you had to reward someone for a behavior? Punishment. How would you punish someone for a behavior? So that's what we're going to talk about as we learn operant conditioning in easy terms. Okay, so remember, when we're working with rewards, we're going to increase a behavior, right? When we're working with punishments, we want to decrease a behavior. So we have P for positive reinforcement. We have N for negative reinforcement. We have another P for positive punishment. We have another N for negative punishment. So what's going on here? What's going on? We have a way to increase the behaviors and we have a way to decrease our behaviors. But I see two P's, two N's. What's going on? What's going on? Well, let's see. So, in the first P, let's use that as to give something good. So this will be PR, positive reinforcement. Let's write it down here. PR is your positive reinforcement. All right, and then we're going to have our NR because we still want to increase a behavior, okay? So it seems like it's negative, but we're just removing something bad because we want to increase a positive behavior. So next, we're going to put our NR down here in the codes, and this will be our negative reinforce. All right. So what's going on right there? They cannot be the same, right? Because that wouldn't make any sense. That's not what we're doing. We are doing something called increasing our behavior and something called decreasing our behavior. So now we know that over here in this column, we have increasing behaviors. We have our positive reinforcement, which is give something good. We have our negative reinforcement, remove something bad. Now let's look over here, P and the N. Wow, positive punishment. So we're going to give something bad. So let's put PP. Give something bad, PP. So positive punishment. What comes to your mind? It sounds kind of confusing. How can you positively punish something, right? So you're giving something bad, like a spanking, a timeout. So it's to decrease the behavior. You want the behavior to stop. So that's why we have it under positive punishment. And remember, we're working on these two, decreasing a behavior. So next we have negative punishment. So NP. NP would be negative punishment. So what comes to your mind when you think of negative punishment? That might be a little easy for some people. So for some people, they may say, well, to remove something. So I'll stop petting my dog once they stop biting people. I'll stop giving this person gifts if they do not follow directions. I'll stop giving stars. So you're removing something good because you want to increase positive behaviors and decrease negative behaviors. So if they're doing something bad, you want to decrease their behavior. And these are the two ways that you would do that. So now let's look at everything all together. So remember, with operant conditioning, we are looking at Thorndike and Skinner's work. And Thorndike, he worked with cats in a maze. He did other work, but one of his famous studies was cats in a maze. I would suggest you look that up. It's so interesting how smart cats are. And Skinner, he worked with pigeons and rats. Oh my gosh, to train them, it was very interesting. Look those videos up on YouTube, and you'll see how they use rewards and punishment to train animals. Very interesting. So let's look at our chart. So this might just be helpful to think of these letters together. So remember, PR and NR, those will be to do what? We want to increase behaviors. So you may want to put a positive right there. Okay, those two. So if you're taking an exam and you want to make a layout of remembering operant conditioning, this might be helpful. So you're going to have PR on the left side, NR on the left side. So just think of reinforcing, doing something over, reinforcing. So remember, these are to increase, add. So increase. Sometimes you have to write things different ways to remember it. So you can also have this as increase. All right. So next we want to look over here on the right side. So PP and P. What did we say that these are? Now we're going to decrease a behavior. We want the behavior to stop. We want to minus the behavior. So decrease the behavior. Okay, so decrease. So when we're looking on the right side, we want to remember PN again, but this time PN plus PP, right? So PPNP, because we want to decrease the behaviors. Now let's give an example of everything. Let's tell a story. So you have a, let's say, a doggy named Mikey, little Mikey. All right. So you want to increase little Mikey's behavior. So little Mikey is sitting down, doing what he's supposed to do. He's not biting anyone. So you want to give him something good because you want to reinforce that behavior. Little Mikey's sitting down being good. Let me give you a treat because I want to see you doing more of this. Okay? So give something good to increase their behavior. Now, little Mikey starts to bite. So what happens? What do? I need to remove something because I want the biting behavior to stop and I want him to sit. So now when he sits, I'm going to stop hollering. I'm going to stop yelling. So I'm reinforcing the yelling, and I'm putting him in a position to sit if he wants the yelling to stop. So that's negative reinforcing. So I'm going to stop yelling at little Mikey as soon as he sits still. So I want to increase the behavior of sitting still. But in order to increase it, because he's just out of control right now, I might holler at him. I may yell at little Mikey. But when I yell, he actually sits. And I want to increase him sitting. So, of course, that's negative reinforcement. So let's look at the decrease in behaviors. So now little Mikey, he's beginning to bite others. When company come over, he's biting them after I tell him to stop. He continues to bite others. So what I've started to do was punish him. How? How am I punishing little Mikey? Well, I have to spank him. I spank him. Unfortunately, I have to spank him. That's the only way he stops biting companies. So I want to decrease the behaviors of him biting my company. So I'm going to use positive punishment, which is the spanking, because I want to decrease that bad behavior. And it works. Little Mikey stops biting people when I spank him. Let's look at negative punishment. Remember, we are decreasing behaviors. So now little Mikey bites someone who is just being nice to him in public. I did not know little Mikey would do that because he's been so nice, but he just had a bad day and he bit someone in public. So I had to remove my special rubbing that I give to him. So that's what happened. He received a negative punishment. Nope, no special hugging until you stop biting others. So that's what happened. I applied negative punishment, so I removed something good, which is the special hugging. And all of a sudden, little Mikey stopped biting. That's how that worked. So I was able to use operant conditioning to train little Mikey on how to behave. So I was able to increase his behaviors and decrease his behaviors. How? With positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement. With positive punishment and negative punishment. So let's just look at some key terms. Okay, as you look at this chart, you just need to think of, whenever you see operant conditioning, remember rewards and punishments. And remember, it's deliberate. Remember also response bursts on this side, extension, because I want to decrease the negative behaviors. And eventually, I want them to go away. So this side, extension. So think of this as a tic-tac-toe chart. And don't forget, on your left side, you have the positive. Right side, you have the negative. Thank you for your time. Enjoy this video and also the next video.